It is my distinct pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest speaker for today. This accomplished individual brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to our gathering, making her insight truly invaluable. Let's take a moment to delve into her remarkable background and expertise as we prepare to be inspired by her words of wisdom. Deion Francis is a passionate change agent and life transition expert who is dedicated to helping individuals reclaim their natural abilities and reach their full potential. As the founder and CEO of Blueprint Pathfinder Inc., Deion has developed coaching programs and courses that serve clients all over the world. In 2016, she created two signature programs, Gifted for Success and the Professional Immigrant Transition Program, which has since been integrated into ESL program for new immigrants in Canada. What an accomplishment. In her mission to bring self-development coaching to all, Deion has taken her message of wellness and growth to the world, hosting her own radio show, Insight, and reaches people across the continent. She's also collaborating with Black Biblo in a campaign to integrate Black Canadian history into the elementary and secondary school curriculum, starting with the province of Ontario. As a certified master, personal and professional coach, and life transition speaker, Deion's passion for life and identity is fueled by her belief that a thriving nation starts with individuals who know their worth and true identity. She is committed to inspiring others to pursue their purpose with unwavering courage based on their unique DNA. Please put your hands together and join me in giving a warm round of applause as we welcome our esteemed guest, Deion Francis.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I heard Carol speaking, and sometimes you really don't see yourself. You do what you do, and you just do it because that's what you do. And wow, I sat there, we made a joke, I'm like, who's she talking about? Before I start, I just want to thank my pastors. I thank you, Pastor Gary and Pastor Shelley. Thank you for the invite. Thank you for the platform, and thank you for the opportunity to echo my voice with my Father's intention into this room. I'm excited tonight because I'm looking at what I saw as a child, and today I live who I know I'm meant to be. So thank you all for coming out. I look forward to sharing with you, and slide please. I look forward to sharing with you because tonight we are going to speak about the power that's in your image. It's not by chance, it's not if, it's not because you're pretty, you wear the right colors, you had your color palette done. It's not because your designer labeled the tag hanging in the back of your garment or the logo on the garment. It's because of who you are. Amen. The power of knowing your image. It's about knowing the image that you are naturally designed after, the very tapestry of your existence. It is about knowing how and why I am here. How did I come to? Why am I here? It's not because God just didn't have anything to do, so he decided, you know, let me do an earth thing. It's not an earth move. The reality is that whatever you believe is what you're going to live. And whatever you live will determine whether or not you impact the space and time that you occupy. So, where are you living today? Are you occupying space and time? Think about that. But before you get lost into that, ask yourself this question. What is your image? Put the word "my" there. Who do you say you are? Because for many of us sitting in this room, our image of ourselves is based on what the world has told us. What they tell us is a trend, what they have told us is acceptable, what they have told us is the norm. Many of us sitting in this room, that woman with the shattered glass looking through it, the reflection of herself is what you're seeing, that shattered glass. For many of us, that is the image we have. Broken in some part, strong in some part. If you look, she has clarity in one eye, through one eye, but obscurity through the other. For many of us, that's our journey. So tell me, who do you say you are? Oxford Dictionary defines you pretty much that you are a representation of the external form around you or thing. But what happens if your image is based on a spirit? There's no external image to model ourselves after. And for many of us, we are looking for a model. We were designed after one model with one image, and that model is known as the I am. Now the I am image is, the I am model has a distinct, unique image that goes beyond, it expands beyond any human being's existence. It goes beyond the beautiful flowers that's on the table. It goes beyond each and every one of you looking fine here today. It goes beyond any physical appearance. The I am image starts from within. Yes. It is a defined place within that you can find your true self, because in the spirit man lives the answer that your creator has told you that you are. But for many of us, we never really tapped in, because we live in a world that really does not acknowledge, respect, or even consider the spirit man. You see, I am made after the image and the likeness of God.
That's right.
The reality is that in Genesis 1 verse 27, God said, "Let me make every woman in this room in my image and likeness." Okay, I'm veering away from that. It's not that I can't read. So, let me make every woman in this room in my image and likeness. And in my image and likeness, he did make you, each and every one of you. Turn to the person beside you and say, "I'm after God's image." Okay, we got to control this now. So here we are after God's image, yet still, I'm still wondering, who am I? Is it because we don't know who our designer is and the designer's attributes?
Yes, that's right.
Is it that I don't know who God is? That when he said, I designed you like me,
Come on. That's it.
that I should be like him? I'm not saying you're going to create the world, because guess what? It's already done.
That's right. Come on.
We don't need a redo. What we need to be is ourselves in that which was created. This space and time, there was a power given to each and every one of us when we were predestined to be here. You see, we're waiting for permission. But guess what? Permission has already been granted. You can't rely on anyone to give you permission to be, because you already are. So if you're waiting, you will miss fulfilling your destiny. Now, when you think about the importance of me knowing my image, it's important because there's a power that comes with my image. It comes in the image and the likeness of he who created me. So you may say, okay, so what exactly does that mean? It means that there's a confidence and a boldness that I walk in. There's a determination and a resilience. I will not, I can speak for myself and any person who taps into their image, their identity, based on the Creator himself tonight, I can tell you, you will not have an identity crisis. You will not go through life not knowing who you are and second guessing where you should be. You do not hesitate to walk through doors that you know you're destined to walk through. And not because you have the PhD and the WWD and the BQZ and what. It's not because, it's because you are purposely designed, predestined to go through that door. So today I'm here to tell you, the power lives. Because each and every one of you sitting in this seat has a power line. And each and every one of you in that seat that you're sitting is power itself. Whether you identify it, acknowledge it, or believe it, it's real. It's the engaging that helps us to live it, that makes us see the manifestation of it. And we desire it within. Now, when you see an individual living their life and you say, wow, I wish I could, I'm here to tell you today, you can. You can. You can. And if you tap into your power line, your power source, your image, your likeness that came from God, there's no reason why any woman in this room cannot live in that place. There is a story, and we all have a story.
Yes. Yes.
What does yours look like? I'm going to share mine. All the way back to a 5-year-old girl living in the beautiful island of Jamaica. And I am the 8th of 8 children. And I've been blessed.
Amen.
You know, my siblings are watching, and they are a blessing. My parents are no longer here, so that's why you don't hear me speak of them. They were the best. This 5-year-old girl, by the age of 5, her sister, that would normally be at home with her or have half-day school, and we would play after school and all the engaging things siblings do, she was off to full-day school. She went on to elementary school, and I was still in kindergarten. We called it basic school back then. And every day I went to school for half day. For one whole year, unless I wasn't well or I went out with my mom. Every day after school, I would come home, change my clothes, and it was almost like it was real to me. I would play this game. I envisioned a woman, and many of us talk about, oh, you know, it's her imaginary friend. That was no imaginary friend.
Keep going, keep going.
So I just want to put that in quotation. We weren't going there. So I would change my clothes, jump on the ledge of the veranda, and I would walk back and forth, and every day for hours, all I would say is, you can, you can, you can, with this woman. And the more I did it, the more I wanted to be like her, and the more I did it, I felt like I was her. There was a power that came from walking that path. You can, you can. Now you picture a child 5 days a week going back and forth. My mom would say, enough. Do you have anything else to say? No. You sat down for a few minutes and I popped up again. You can, you can, you can. After a while, she just let me be. She didn't bother. But for 1 year, I gave her a name. I called her the You Can Lady. Yeah. And then I ramped it up. I called her the Bigger Boss. I felt like she was strong and she was in control. I wanted that power that she had. And there was a reason why I saw her powerful, because she stood before a sea of people who were laying down. They were just down on the ground. But the minute she spoke, the minute she came and she said, and that's all she would say, you can, you can, you can. Back and forth, you can, you can. She never uttered any other words but you can. And they did. They rose up. They rose up. Tonight I'm here to tell you, you can. But you must rise. You must rise. There is not one person here tonight that can't. And you can because of the power that's on the inside of you, the image and the likeness that you were designed after. It doesn't matter what has happened in your life. It doesn't matter what anyone has ever done to you. It does not matter. You can. You see, the power that's on the inside of us has caused us to be, how can I put it? It has caused us to be able to walk blame-free.
I love that.
Blame-free. Blame-free of yourself and others. You see, the blame game, it's a heavy load to carry. And some of us toy with it because we feel as if it's eased on someone else's plate and I look good. But I tell you this much. The same way you will blame others, you will blame yourself. The same way we are unforgiving to others, we will be unforgiving to ourselves. The power does not function, can't function in disorder, deception, brokenness like that woman's face that you saw, but it's also her internal image. It can't. So this sort of 5-year-old girl, she went to school. 6 years old, all eager beaver and ready to go. And what happened? The teacher asked a question. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? I want to be the bigger boss, yeah. For the first time in my life, I felt uncomfortable with her. Everyone was jumping up and they were saying lawyers and doctors and teachers, and they wanted to be, back then it was air hostess and pilots, and they wanted to be all these things, but no one said they wanted to be the you can lady. How could that be? I know her to be real. I know her to be someone I wanted to be. I remember feeling very uncomfortable. For the first time in my life, I was conscious. I was conscious that something was wrong about who I wanted to be. For the first time, I thought I could not be this person. After all, no one even knew who she was. But what I realized for the first time, I never knew what she did. I didn't have a name to label her. I didn't. So I quietly sat in my seat and prayed. The teacher did not see me. You stand out when you try to hide. Yeah. So the teacher saw me. She said, "Francis," and she has a stern voice, "who do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do?" And I remember standing up, terrified, because in my heart of heart, that was all I wanted to be. That's all I wanted to do. I said, I want to save the world. For the first time in my life, that moment, I realized that's what I thought the woman was doing. Because the people looked as if they were dead on the ground. My teacher said, "You can't." I said, "You're right, that's stupid." Never again after that moment, I thought of the you can lady. Never again did I play the game. 39 years later, I did a writing class and I had to write about me and what I wanted. And I know my friend that took me to the class, she said to me, "Deion, you're always so fabulous with all these throws and everything. It's almost like you're hiding someone under there." And I remember thinking, what's wrong with you? Because I felt confident. I felt bold. But the reality is that when it came to writing time to say who and what I wanted out of life, I choked. I could not do it. I remember the teacher kept me back after class one night, and I broke down and I started crying. And I thought, I said it to her eventually, who pays anyone to harass their soul this way? Because I did not want to say that I wanted to be the you can lady. I didn't even remember her. I did do the monologue. I did go on stage and perform, but I wrote that I wanted to be a designer, which to a certain degree I did. That was my afterthought after the you can lady died. And what happened was that when I got to the point that I wrote the monologue, I wrote it that I wanted to be a designer. You see, being a designer is known. Being a designer is acceptable. Being a designer has a face. The you can lady still didn't have a face. But even then, I did not think about her. Not one bit. Until about 2 months later, I sat down reading the monologue, and I started crying and just started typing. And I wrote what I wanted to be. And I remember, I'm going to fast forward, writing the monologue and deciding everything inside of me that I've always wanted and longed for was in the image I saw of myself then. You see, for many of us here tonight, we always find ourselves wanting more. The reality is that the I am in us is complete. But when we operate outside of the I am in us,
Yes. Come on.
no fulfillment. There's a constant hunger and wanting that the world has, and the truth is, it can't be satisfied because I am not me. I have not turned up for my life. I cannot be satisfied when I'm not here. A counterfeit is living our lives. A counterfeit has actually, a thief came in and hijacked you, a breach occurred, and for 10, 15, 20 to 50, 60 years, whatever years you have sitting in that sea, breached, living as someone else. 39 years later, I started the journey to make it back, but I tell you this, 45 years before I stepped into the icon lady's shoe, into my image. You see, what I realized was that who I am is the I am.
Yes, amen.
That's your image. And the I am, and I study the word because I don't necessarily, I coach individuals, and most of, well, normally all my clients are unsaved. Because the principle, the laws of life, it works, and it's about helping people to come into that realization of who they are. When you think about the I am, and I was studying, sitting down just reading the word, and I was looking at the word I am, and God said I am, and I heard the intentional, authentic me. That is the I am. That's the acronym. The intentional person who was born then to serve now.
Yes. Yes.
The authentic you that is uniquely designed like no other. Cannot be duplicated, carbon copied, nothing. Me. You see, when the authentic you shows up, guess what? Guess. You have your place that no one else can take. I don't have to worry about any of you sitting here competing with me. You can journey with me, but you can be me. You see, because I turned out. When we turn up, we don't have to be afraid of each other. When we turn up, we can say, oh, I'm not comfortable. And one of the things I was saying, I brought it up the other day, that, you know, I've struggled with allowing people to get close to me. But I realize it is something, someone said, we are friends. It is something that came from a very far place, but we're not going to get into that. But what I identified was that it was outside of who I know I am.
That's right.
How do you see yourself tonight? Where do you see yourself tonight? Are you the intentional, authentic me? Are you the I am image? And when I say me, not me, you can't be me, I'm me. Are you yourself? Now the attributes that you'll find in the I am that is in you, and these are only some. The I am is a spirit. So there's more to you than the physical garments and the way you dress and the way you wear your hair. It will not sustain you or define you. You are defined by who you are. And who you are is all powerful. Who you are is courageous. Who you are is insightful, intuitive, and creative. Now, it's ironic because that's who God is. Spirit, a creator, innovator. He's love. I'm love. So tonight I want to say to you, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You are the intentional, authentic me. I had a presentation that went way beyond this, and the truth, I want to finish it now when I think about it. But the intentional, authentic me, the intentional, authentic me is predestined.
Yes.
Designed to fulfill purpose. You have a power that gains you access to wherever you need to go, and you're qualified because of that power, not because of a piece of paper, not because of how you speak, not because of who you know, but because of who you are. So then fear, we don't have to be afraid of stepping up and stepping into the places where we need to be. And I use the word need because when the I am is absent, disorder is present. Where have you been absent from that there has been disorder? We watch the television and we talk about the violence and everything that's going on, but there's some of you sitting in this room that you need to turn up. You need to turn up. You need to rise. The reality is that the I am, the authentic you, the intentional you, you overcome challenges without the brokenness trail. You overcome challenges without the brokenness trail. That trail of brokenness that you just add on. And one of the stories, I'll run through it quickly. I always think about Joseph. Joseph went through his journey and he didn't have the broken trail.
That's right. That is right.
He had the I am trail, the I am image. So when you think about who you are, how can I live in that I am image? How can I live in my I am power? It's simple. Away from turning up, then be mindful of the time that you spend and the people you spend that time with. Be mindful of what you're putting inside of you, because the reality, that's what's going to come out. Be intentional in your life. Therefore, the acronym TAP, take actions purposefully each and every day. Every day of your life. Every second, every minute, when you wake up, even how you get out of the bed. Take actions purposefully. And then what do? Recognize that life is not by chance. It's not by chance that you're here today. It's not by chance that your parents are your parents. And it's not by chance that you were born the day you were born to serve in the season that you live in today. It's not by chance. It's not by chance that your path, the path you've taken, has brought you to the place where you are today. It's not by chance in any way that God chose you. You don't need permission. It was granted. No excuses. No validations. Now my power path comes when I choose to take the path. We are looking for the power. The one that we have inside of us wrestles with the imposter that has taken over our lives. And that wrestle you will always want, because the truth is you aren't I am as yet. When we are not the I am as yet, we wrestle. We wrestle. We wrestle. Now, how can you get beyond that? Recognizing that your power awaits you. Where? Where does it await you? It's not going to come back to the mess or live in the mess with you. It awaits you there, where it should be. It's waiting for you where you need to be. Your assignment awaits you there where you need to be. Your purpose awaits you there. Your destiny awaits you there. The question is, will you live there? Show up. Show up. I want to thank you for allowing me to speak to my seed. Thank you. Today I'm here to tell you the 5-year-old girl lives. The I Can lady lives. The bigger boss lives. Today I'm here to tell you, live life on purpose. It's not an option, it is your destiny. If you want to stop wrestling with your life, step into your I am power line. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.